get into this and look at Peterborough. We're going to start with Peterborough, and then I'm going to try keep putting these markets in there. Niagara Falls, Bowmanville. Mark, you're pulling my legs on Timmins. Thanks for that. But I'll do as many markets as I can, and when Patrick yanks me off the stage, well, that'll be the end of that. So let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I want you to pay attention to like this right here. You're gonna every time I switch the market or the city, you will see a number here: X% from rental survey, X% from MLS. That's where the data comes from, just so you all know. So in this particular case, in Peterborough, we have essentially 67% of the data comes from the rental survey, and 33 comes from MLS. And then different markets have different numbers. So it's just important. If you guys want to know where the numbers come from, that's where the numbers come from. I can speak from experience. The markets that Visture Property Group manages, we now manage almost over 200 units, properties in Oshawa, Peterborough, Lindsay, City of Kawartha Lakes, Orillia, Barrie. And I can tell you that these numbers are very, very, very accurate from the markets that we manage in, because I know those markets inside and out. So let's get going on Peterborough. You'll see here, I'm going to show you a couple of graphs. This one here is kind of the main one you guys want to see. Red is 4-bedroom homes. Blue is 3-bedroom homes. Gray is upper 3-bedroom units, and green is lower 2-bedroom units. So you can see here that essentially 4-bedroom homes are on the decline in Peterborough. They went from essentially a peak in March of just under 3,500, and they are down to about 3,200. So that 4-bedroom homes in total are down about $300. Now, what's interesting is 3-bedroom homes have done the opposite. They have went up, and they went from essentially mid-February, they're 2,600. They're now over $3,000 for a 3-bedroom home in Peterborough. 3-bedroom upper units and 3-bedroom apartments are essentially holding steady, about 2,575. They've went as high as 2,650, which is quite high, but they're steady at about right now 2,575. And 2-bedrooms, as you can see here, are 1918. So 2-bedrooms have gone down a little bit. And this is just, and I can tell you about Peterborough because of my experience in that market, but a lot of markets are just hitting their ceiling of limitation when it comes to rents. And you can't have rents going up and up and up and up and up forever. And they kind of go up they go up and then they come down a little bit, and then they go up a little bit more and then they come down. And you'll see over time, as is the case here, where it was just not even 2 years ago, rents were $1,750 for a 2-bedroom, and now you're talking about rents being in the $1,950. So they're up $200 in that Peterborough market. And by the way, this is the average, because I could tell you, if you called my office today at Visture and you said, "Hey, what are the rents for a 2-bedroom unit in Peterborough?" I would tell you that the average rent is somewhere between $1,800 and $2,200. I just rented a 2-bedroom, fully renovated unit, a partnership I did with a fellow RAIN member. Get this, Patrick, $2,350 for a 2-bedroom unit.
See, you give landlords a bad reputation. See, it's because of you. That's I'm kidding.
Hey, listen, we invested $160,000 into renovating this beautiful old historic schoolhouse. It turned out incredible, and this is really, really good. Christian, no, the rental survey part is not CMHC. The rental survey is the research that the DI Vault and that Confidence does. The survey it does itself on the rental market, and they do that through property management companies of actually rented units and the actual price they got for them. So that's the rental survey. It's not the rental survey through MLS or through CMHC. MLS is MLS published data on MLS. Just to answer that question. Okay, so that's what's going on with Peterborough. Very, very interesting of what's happening there. Let's go to Barrie. Let's go to Barrie next. I'm going to try to hit the major markets I know you guys all operate in. Now, look at the difference right away. look at the difference between Peterborough and Barrie on this particular chart. I'm just going to make it bigger. See, notice first of all, notice how less jagged the chart is. It's a much smoother chart. It's got way less up and down, and it's way more, stable, if you will, from a market. Now, this is interesting because look at the price for Barrie. I'm going to start from the bottom this time. A 2-bedroom in Barrie, on average, 1867. And I can tell you this from experience, the rents in Barrie are a solid $100 less than they are in Peterborough. Fascinating, right? That's something that as a real estate investor, you got to look for, is you got to look for that real estate market that meets all the economic fundamentals that Rain teaches you, and you have a good entry point, and you maximize your rental. And if you can kind of triangulate on those three things, you will have a very, very good market. And that's why Peterborough is so hot, because Peterborough has a better entry point than Barrie and higher rents than Barrie, right? So interesting. 3-bedroom units, 2486. And you can just see just been very stable here at just under $2,500 for a 3-bedroom upper unit. 3-bedroom homes, 2753. The 3-bedroom homes in Peterborough were $3,000, guys. That's $300 more in Barrie in Peterborough than it was in Barrie. And you can see 4-bedroom houses, $3,065. 4-bedroom houses have come down in rents here, as you can see. The trend is definitely down. In terms of 3-bedroom homes, it's fairly stable. The rest is very, very stable in Barrie. Barrie is not a market that changes a lot. It's a very stable. There's lots of renters, but it isn't the highest rents on the market. And you'll see that as we go through it. What else do we want to show you? Let's look at Oshawa. That's another good one. I know a lot of you operate in Oshawa. Let me make this chart big. So I'll start from the top this time. 4-bedroom homes for rent in Oshawa, 3351, definitely on the uptick from 3234 to 3355. So they're up 125 bucks. 3-bedroom homes from 2800 to 2900, essentially up 100 bucks. 3-bedroom uppers, look at this, up to 26. So 3-bedroom homes, and then 3-bedroom apartments on the upswing big time, and 2 bedrooms very, very stable. So that is Oshawa. And again, same thing. Look at Oshawa. Similar rents to Peterborough. In fact, Peterborough's rents are a little higher than Oshawa. Not much, not as much as they are more than, and this isn't an advertisement for Peterborough, by the way. I'm just using it as as a constant, if you will. Like I'm using it as a baseline. But the rents are higher, but the entry point in Peterborough compared to Oshawa, very, very different, much lower in Peterborough than it is in Oshawa. Okay, here's St. Catharines. So let's go upper 3s, lower 2s. So here's St. Catharines. Now check this out. This is very good. So St. Catharines, 2 bedrooms, average 1707, quite stable, as you can see. But 1707. 3 bedrooms are 2300. 3-bedroom homes are at 2500. Notice that. That's quite a bit lower than some of the other markets I'm showing you. And that is one of the things I've noticed about St. Catharines now that I'm managing properties there, is the rents are not quite as strong. Like you'd think St. Catharines is St. Catharines is only about 30 minutes past Hamilton. There's got to be, the growth of Hamilton's got to be pushing into St. Catharines, and it is. There's no doubt, but not all the rentals are there yet in terms of price. You can see quite stable, and it's been like that for years. It had a big price bump here in the fall of 2022, where 3-bedroom homes went from 2100 to 2500, and essentially stayed there the whole time. A little blip here where it went up, but 4-bedroom homes, now they've pushed up quite significantly recently. And the reason this is happening is because there's not a lot of 4-bedroom homes for rent. So when there is some that hit the market, they usually, if you happen to catch some good renters and people that want those properties, you often see this very kind of big spike in 4-bedroom homes. This may revert back down to its mean over time, but right now you're looking at, this is St. Catharines, you're up to almost 3,100 for a 4-bedroom home. Now let me go back to some of those other markets. Let me go back to Niagara. I'm sure we got friggin' Niagara data. Sure of it. Sure of it. There you go. Here's Niagara. For my friend that wanted Niagara. So Niagara, here's something very interesting, and I wish we can go back even further than this. Now I can't go back in this platform. I can't go back further than this. But one of the problems with Niagara back in the day, when I say back in the day, I mean pre-COVID, like 2019, 2018. I know a lot of people wanted to invest there because it was really cheap to buy, but the rents were so low. Now that has changed. The rents have definitely come up. You're getting a 2-bedroom now for $1,750. You're getting 2,300 for a 3-bedroom. So those of you that invested in Niagara in like 16, 17, 18, 19 pre-COVID, you have definitely got in for a really low entry point, and now the rents have totally caught up. And this is and you guys know that I love to give Patrick Francie credit where credit is due. I harp on him enough. This is a big part of this is the work from home. A lot of people love the wine country. They hate commuting. Commuting from Niagara to Toronto is horrible, but to live in Niagara, work in Niagara, or work from home is fantastic. And I think you're seeing Niagara really benefiting from that. 3-bedroom homes. Check this out. 3-bedroom apartments, 2,300. 3-bedroom homes, only 2,460, 2,470. So 3-bedroom apartments are going for almost as much as 3-bedroom homes, and 4-bedroom homes are up to just about 2,951. So there's Niagara. 4-bedroom homes trending up. 3 bedrooms quite stable, actually on a bit of a decrease in terms of a downtrend from a peak of about, what's this? 2,669. They're down. 3 bedrooms, relatively stable. Let's go to London. Any other markets? Are you guys bored yet, or should I keep going? Any other markets I should? I'm going to talk about London and what else? Brantford. Okay, Carlton, I'll take a look at Brantford. Let's have a look at good old London. So 4 bedrooms home in London, as you can see, last 1 year trend in London has been quite strong. 4-bedroom homes are up from $2,800 to $3,050 on average. That's 4-bedroom homes. 3-bedroom homes from a year ago went from 2,500 to 2,700. 3-bedroom apartments went from a year ago 2,360 to 2,437, so they're up $100. And 2 bedrooms relatively stable at 1,750. You can pretty much see all these because we're pretty much all hitting up secondary markets here. 2 bedrooms are in that kind of 17, 18, 19, 2,000 range. I mean, if you're going to be premium, you could push it up into the 2,000s. But the average, and you could see here in terms of London, 65% from rental survey, 34% from MLS. The closer you get to Toronto, the more you're going to see MLS data, the less you're going to see rental survey, just so you know. Hamilton. Okay, I'll get to Hamilton in a second. I'll get to Ottawa in a second. Let me get Welland. Let me check Welland, Christian. Brantford. Okay, I said Brantford, and then I'll check Welland. Here we go. Brantford, not Bradford, but Brantford. Here's Brantford. Let's go big. So you can see Brantford here. So Brantford, 4-bedroom homes on the way down, trending down from fall of last year, 3,112, down to 2,916. So down about 8%. 4-bedroom homes are down 8%. 3-bedroom homes are down about 5% from 2,650 to 2,550 roughly. 3-bedroom apartments also down recently. They're up since the fall from 2,300 to 2,400, but in the last 2 months they've been trending down from 2,500 to 2,400. So that's pretty damn strong. A 3-bedroom for 2,400. That's not a bad rent at all. And then you could see here 2 bedrooms. Actually, again, trending down. So funny, right? Look at Brantford. Most of these rents in Brantford have been trending down in the last 3 to 6 months. Here, Brentford, you went from 1950 down to essentially 1800 for Brentford. Carlton, let's go to Welland. Do I have Welland? Damn good question. Yes, I do. So Welland's data, 53% from rental survey, 46 from MLS. Check it out, Mr. Christian. You have stuff in Welland, buddy? I didn't know you had stuff in Welland. Tiverton, Brent. Oh my gosh, I'll see if it's there. I don't think so, but 4 bedrooms in Welland are 2,700, and they've been stable there since essentially late 2023 at 2,650 to 2,700. 3-bedroom homes have kind of been on the slide here in the last 6 months from 2,500 to 2,350. 3-bedroom apartments are on the rise from 2,000 to 2,150, and 2 bedrooms are up and down a little bit like a yo-yo. The kind of trading range for 2 bedrooms is between 1,750 and 1,550. As you can see, and right now they're at the lower part of the trading range, Christian. So there's that, and that's when you see a graph like this, folks, and you're thinking about investing there, that's what you want to look at. You want to look at that trading range here. Where is it? What's the top? What's the bottom recently? And then how do you fit into the inventory? And what's your quality level? Are you an A apartment? Are you a B apartment? Are you a C apartment? Are you a D apartment? Kitchener-Waterloo. Let me get to that. Hamilton. I got to cover Hamilton. Hamilton's huge. Hamilton. I don't know my alphabet, but I'll get there. I'm French. Okay, Hamilton, look at this. So Hamilton's a lot like Barrie. What I mean is, look at like the 2 bedrooms, the 3 bedrooms, the 3-bedroom apartments, 3-bedroom homes, just solid, just rock solid, very little trading range. You pretty much know what you're gonna get. Like, for a 3-bedroom house, you're gonna get just under 3 grand. 3-bedroom apartment, you're gonna get mid 2560, 2,600. A 2-bedroom, you're gonna get $2,000. So you know what you're going to get there. 4-bedroom homes, 3,500, but they went as high as 3,700 just a couple months ago. So that's Hamilton. So Hamilton, rock solid kind of market there. And I know you're there, Judy, and a couple others of you. Ottawa. Okay, I got to get to Calgary and Edmonton too. Is this good, folks? Are we hitting the mark here? Ottawa. Okay, Ottawa, good old Ottawa. Now check out Ottawa. Ottawa's on the rise. Now that's something, folks, and I know the people in Ottawa always think, like the renters in Ottawa always think rents are too high. But Ottawa, in terms of a capital city, a global city, Justin Trudeau aside, that's a softball for Patrick. But in general, Ottawa's rents in the past have been lower than they should be, in my opinion. And you can kind of see that's been, that's been reflected. Like 4-bedroom homes in the last year have went from 2,900 to 3,400. That's a $600 increase there for 4-bedroom homes. Same with 3-bedroom homes. They went from 2,450 range to 2,750 range. They're up. 3-bedroom homes in the last year have went from 2,350 to 2,621, and 2 bedrooms have been more stable, but they're on the rise too. They went from 1,824 to 2,023. So everything in Ottawa is on the rise. Things are very bright there in Ottawa. Did you have a comment, Patrick?
Well, you're because you've got so many doors that you're managing, and maybe people. I would be interested to know if that you're seeing a trend to 3 and 4 bedroom. It seems to be that, but it's anecdotal. I don't have any data to support it, which is to say that the 3 and 4 bedroom are becoming more popular because affordability requires roommates. They're getting roommates so that they can afford rent, as opposed to, let's say, paying $1,800 a month for a 1 or 2 bedroom as an example. Let's get a 3 or 4 and get some roommates and split the cost. It's a less expensive way to do it. I'm just wondering if that is there something that you're seeing in that regard or not?
Well, I will say I can't speak to that, Patrick, other than this perspective, which is that's a red flag for me. Just so everybody knows, this is actually a really good conversation. It's a red flag for me that if we're pushing rents beyond where people need to start bringing in roommates, we're going too far. And you typically, what I've seen, and I've had this bad experience, when we do that, we have just crested on the other side, and your renter profile has just gone down significantly. I would rather take $50 less or $100 less and get the couple that can afford a 2 or 3 bedroom, not two couples coming together because they want to afford something bigger. I usually don't find that works out well. Just my personal experience. So I like to catch them before that happens, Patrick.
Yep, 100%. But that's a really good point. And my own experience in it is that you get two or three, well, not so much two, but you get 3 or 4 roommates that they're much harder on the property. You know, they're showering, they're using like every aspect of the property is it's just harder.
100%. Totally agree with that. Okay, so that's pretty much that. So yeah, in the downtown core, seeing 2,200 ceiling for 1 bedroom at the moment. Yeah, for sure. And that's it. Now there's a market, and do we have 1 bedrooms? You know what? I don't want to go through all of this again. But if I just took off, so 1 bedroom, look at this, that what Christian is saying is very interesting. 1 bedroom. Look at this, 1 bedroom, damn close to a 2 bedroom. And I'm seeing that more and more and more where 1 bedrooms, like nice 1 bedrooms. And I'm not saying studios or bachelor pads. I'm talking about a nice 1 bedroom apartment. You can push those rents quite high because you get that single professional that doesn't want to live with anybody. They just want a nice place. And often what Christian is saying here is interesting is, and I've known this to be true as well. This data is very accurate, but I do find that I can often get more than what I see here. It's pretty rare that this data shows more than what I actually get. I can typically push his data a little bit because I'm in the premium space. I believe so is Christian. I mean, we play in the premium space. We're renting typically to a nice premium renter. So yeah, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, very, very similar. Da, da, da. Now let's get to Patrick. I want to share some West Coast data, and then maybe
Did
you
you
can.
yeah, did you get to Calgary? Sorry, I might have
I'm
missed
going to do that right now. Maybe you can cut this out and send it to the West Coast folks, just because I couldn't be there. I need my beauty sleep or whatever excuse you're making for me, Patrick. But let's check it out. Now, you're going to notice kind of we got to start. We started tracking this data in July. So this is where you're going to have to look from. Okay. So don't worry about the past data. Like start looking from here. Let's look at Calgary, make this bigger. So Calgary is essentially on the upswing since 2024. Here's the beginning of 2024. 4 bedroom homes went from 2,800 to 3,050. 3 bedroom homes went from 2,500 to 2,650. 3 bedroom apartments went from 2,140 to 2,301. 1 bedroom apartments. Look at this. This is interesting. 1 bedroom apartments right now. And what's the Yeah, 1 bedroom apartments here are 1852. 2 bedroom apartments are 1562. Now, Patrick, maybe you could speak to this, but that's something I've always noticed about Alberta rents is well, number one, I find them always a little lower than Ontario, of course, and not just Toronto, but lower than most markets I operate in Ontario. But I do find the 2 bedrooms are more depressed than the 3 bedroom. Like 3 bedroom here for 2,300. That's a little lower than what we can get here in Ontario, but it's pretty damn close. But 2 bedroom, like 1,560 for a 2 bedroom, that's low, brother. I mean, shit, most markets in Ontario, you're getting 17, 18, 19, 2,000. Why is Alberta's 2 bedroom rents so much lower?
I don't have an answer, a real solid answer for that question. I don't think anybody would really. It would be a kind of a best guess and anecdotal, for sure.
Okay, so there's Calgary data, folks. By the way, I'm really happy to be bringing you this West Coast data. And then Edmonton, what's my alphabet here? E comes after C. here we go now, and this is, and I've always found this fascinating as well. So full bedroom house in Edmonton, again, here's 2024, full bedroom house in Edmonton, essentially relatively flat from where it was at the beginning of the year, $2,400. Three bedroom house up from 1978 to 2100, so up $100. Three bedroom apartment from 1770 up to 1854. Notice the difference, much, much lower there, Patrick, than Calgary, much lower than Ontario. A three bedroom apartment, you're in the 1800s. I haven't seen that in Ontario since 2012. And two bedroom lower, you're looking at up from 1295 up to 1366. How do you feel about these rents, Patrick? You own some rentals in Edmonton, lots of them.
Yeah. I mean, they're yeah, for sure. I mean, they're all you got to understand in Edmonton, and I don't know what they're if the Edmonton is so spread out, the rents really vary, and of course, property type makes a big difference. So I've got a bunch of rents that I've got pulled up charts if we decide to look at Alberta tonight a little bit. I'm not comparing as we're going along. I'm kind of watching what you're doing, but I was actually going to pull up a chart. So I don't have an answer to that question. I look at, I always think that rents are so low in Edmonton compared to every other city. And it
Yeah.
just drives me crazy because average incomes are actually higher in Alberta in general and in Edmonton. So it cracks me up. But the market is definitely the condo market when it went through its boom so many years ago, you guys. That condo market in Edmonton, literally prices today in many condo units are what they were 20 years ago.
Yeah, and it's funny you're saying that because Sam in the chat is saying that Edmonton, first of all, Sam is backing up these rents saying, yeah, they sound bang on. But two bedroom units are very much available in bigger buildings. And I think Sam is backing up what you're saying here, Patrick, whereas there's a lot of supply in the condo market in that Edmonton space. So very interesting. Vanessa, I do invest in Albertario significantly, but it's all in commercial and industrial. So no residential over there. I keep all my residential for Ontario so I can like go to the LTB, and it's much funner that way. It's exciting. Just
The one
kidding.
thing about, and of course with Alberta, we don't have the rent controls, the landlord tenant rules that Ontario and BC have. Makes a big
That's
difference.
and
Yeah.
that's why our rents are so much higher.
Well,
We're
yeah,
the,
there goes
the only two people in the world that love the LTB and all the rent control is Christian and I. We're the only two. And Mike. Okay,
the
Patrick, that's it for my rental market update, buddy. That's what I got.